We are moving forward with sixth part of Module 3. This session is called Voices of Resilience and presents stories from women and girls affected by online hate. We will see a few short, impactful real-life stories and testimonials illustrating the real-world psychological and social impacts of misogynistic hate speech. We will focus on the emotional toll, self-censorship, and outcomes on the victim's social and personal life. We will find out if the consequences of hateful discourses include the victim's withdrawal from online/public spaces. We're starting with a story from Romania. Andrea was a sociology student at a major university in Bucharest. She had become increasingly active on social media, especially TikTok and Instagram, using her platforms to share feminist critiques of Romanian pop culture and media portrayals of women. In late 2023, Andrea posted a TikTok criticizing the gender roles in a popular Romanian reality TV show, calling out the normalization of possessive and controlling male behavior. The video gained rapid traction, over 150,000 views in 24 hours. Within hours, the comment section turned hostile. She was called a lot of bad words, threatened with physical assault, sent private graphic messages, and doxing attempts were made. Andrea was also mocked by male peers in her university WhatsApp group. After she became a victim of hate speech, Andrea experienced the emotional and social impact of the phenomena, anxiety symptoms, like panic attacks and a constant state of fear when leaving the house, self-censorship, and as a result, she deleted her TikTok account and made her Instagram private, as well as withdrawal on all levels. She stopped attending classes to avoid confrontations, canceled her participation in a youth feminist panel, and withdrew from a student activism group which she had co-founded. All the hate made Andrea declare that she felt dirty for just having an opinion, so she decided to shut up and never post on social media again. Initially, university staff advised her to stay off social media for a while and offered no formal protection. After pressure from student groups, the university released a generic statement condemning harassment, but no disciplinary action was taken against known harassers in her class WhatsApp group. No counseling services were provided until Andrea requested it herself. The CNCD, Romania's equality body, opened an investigation but noted limitations in addressing individual online hate unless connected to systemic or institutional discrimination. For example, Romania does not have a standalone law criminalizing gender-based online hate, or misogynistic speech, and gender is not explicitly listed as a protected category under Romania's primary hate speech provisions. As a result, her formal police report for online threats resulted in no prosecution. As a result, Andrea changed her lifestyle and online-offline presence. She now uses a pseudonym when posting online and has disengaged from public activism. She is seeing a therapist through a support program run by a local feminist NGO. On social and community level, the case inspired a small wave of solidarity on Romanian social media under the hashtag #VozIaMe_Nu-et-Acuta. My voice isn't silent, but faded after a few weeks. The second story comes from Milan, Italy. Chiara is a 28-year-old freelance journalist based in Milan. In early 2024, she wrote a critical opinion piece for a major Italian online publication about the misogynistic rhetoric used by certain Italian politicians, including comments made by high-profile male officials about women's roles in society. Within hours of publication, Chiara's article gained significant traction on X and Facebook, but the backlash was violent. She received hundreds of messages calling her bad names. Photos of her were reposted with captions mocking her appearance or questioning her credibility as a journalist. A fake account was created in her name that posted inflammatory content. A male commentator with a large following tweeted her article calling her a feminist disgrace to journalism, amplifying the abuse. After receiving so much hate, Chiara declared that she felt like everyone was yelling at her to leave every time she entered a room. Although she didn't leave journalism, she stopped talking about women. She experienced psychological outcomes like emotional exhaustion and insomnia, anxiety, and self-censorship. On the social side, Chiara joined an online peer support group for women journalists, but admitted feeling isolated and burned out. Chiara filed a formal complaint, querela, with the Polizia Postale Postal Police, Italy's cybercrime division. She submitted screenshots of the threats and slurs and reported the impersonation accounts. An investigation was opened into the impersonation account. The fake profile was taken down after 10 days. However, the bulk of the harassing messages were not pursued. Pause the video and read why. Chiara's situation led to some worrying conclusions. This part is important, so pause the video and read carefully. As institutional reaction, the online outlet that published her piece issued a neutral statement about respectful discourse, but did not publicly defend her. Several women's NGOs, including Telefono Rosa and Associazione Differenza Donna, reached out with legal and psychological support options. On long term, Chiara resumed journalism under a pseudonym for sensitive topics. She contributed anonymously to a report by Article 19 Europe on the silencing of women journalists. Our third story comes from Turkey. Political science student and prominent youth activist at a major university in Ankara. She co-founded a student group promoting gender equality, LGBTQ rights, and inclusive education policies. The group organized open panels, social media campaigns, and informal education on campus. Elif had gained a modest following on social media, where she posted about women's rights, Turkish gender politics, and progressive student organizing. In late 2024, Elif launched a campus-wide campaign on Instagram titled #CampusEşitlik, Equality on Campus, calling out sexist behavior from student organizations and proposing reforms like consent training during orientation. She received a lot of backlash from ultra-conservative student groups and anonymous trolls. She received rape and death threats and was called a lot of bad words. Her personal photos were edited and reposted in a degrading manner, and her phone number was leaked and shared in misogynistic forums, so that she would receive harassing calls and messages from strangers. The online hate made Elif declare that she still doesn't feel safe, as if someone is always watching her. Now she doesn't want to express her voice, like every citizen should. In addition, she experienced mental and emotional distress like severe anxiety, panic attacks, and the feeling of constantly being under surveillance. She quit her student leadership role, stopped all political activity, and set her Instagram profile to private. University administration issued no public statement. Her complaints were reportedly met with a verbal suggestion to lay low for a while. No investigation was launched into the online threats or students who reposted and mocked her photos, a faculty member reportedly told her. This is why we tell girls to be careful with social media. In Elif's case, authorities stated that generalized threats and defamation of character on social media are difficult to prosecute unless the perpetrator is identifiable. Turkey does not have specific protections against online gender-based violence. Turkish Penal Code Article 125 insult and Article 106 threat can be applied, but are rarely enforced unless a public figure or a national interest is involved. Pause the video and read the key gaps in Turkish law. On long term, Elif has avoided public activism since the incident. She continues to attend university, but no longer engages with student political life. She privately joined a feminist legal collective in Istanbul, but has chosen not to relaunch her public presence. Now it's time for a short comprehension check. Are you ready? You are doing great.